guys, welcome back. So now that we've seen where everything lives in Google Drive, we are going to start working inside one of the most commonly used tools, which is Google Docs. This is where you're going to create documents, lesson plans, activities, and so much more. Google Docs may seem simple, but knowing just a few key tools can save you a lot of time and help make your documents look much more professional. So to get started, we're going to go back to our Google Drive. And we're going to go to that folder we made last time to make sure it stays nice and organized, Practice Google. And we should still have that document in there we made last time. If you didn't join my last video, you're just going to push New and Google Docs. But since I already have a blank document ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and click it. If you haven't already, let's title it Practice. Okay, so a couple things we're going to talk about today. We are going to discuss how to add our text and how to enhance our text and how to organize our text. And I'm also going to teach you some keyboard shortcuts along the way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add text. And I'm going to keep it nice and simple and just write the word text. Okay, now that I have my text, I can choose to change it in several ways. I can first select my text. I do that by using my left click of my mouse and hovering over it. And then I'm going to choose which font I would like to use. Personally, when I'm making things for my students, I like to use Happy Monkey or Chelsea Market. And when I'm making things for teachers, I like to use Montserrat or Open Sans. So I'm going to go ahead and use Montserrat. In addition to changing my font, I can also change my font size. I can bold my font. I can italicize my font. I can underline my font. I can change the color of my font. And this tool here is really cool. It's called Pick a Custom Color. So if you click this, you can select anywhere. Like let's say I love this blue. You can click it and now your text matches that color completely. This helps if you want your documents to look more cohesive. And I could also highlight, same thing with that custom color again. Now, a couple quick keyboard hacks to save you some time. So we'll start with how to change the font size. Instead of having to drag my mouse all the way up here, all I have to do is select the text, and then with my left hand, I'm going to push Ctrl Shift, and with my right hand, I'm going to push the period button. And this is going to increase the size of my text. If I wanted to decrease the size of my text, again, left hand, Ctrl Shift, right hand, I'm going to push the comma this time. And it's going to decrease my text. A couple other quick shortcuts. If I wanted to bold my text, instead of coming up here and clicking it with my mouse, I could do it with my keyboard. This time, left hand, just Control, right hand, B. Let's say that I wanted to underline my text. This hand, Control, this hand, U. And if I wanted to italicize my text, this hand, Control, this hand, I. So those are a couple quick shortcuts. Now, if you make a mistake while you're typing, let's say I wrote texts instead of text, I have several options available. First, I want to select my text. And this is the way I could do it with my mouse. I go to Edit, Undo. However, if I wanted to, I could also use a keyboard hack, one of these keyboard shortcuts. Again, I have to select my text. But this time, I just have to push Ctrl Z to undo or Ctrl Y to redo. So those are some of those quick, easy keyboard shortcuts. So we know how to add text and we know how to enhance our text. Let's talk about how to organize text. So when you are typing, you have these options available here to organize your text. You can choose bullets. There's also checklists and there's numbers. So bullets gives you several options. You can have all of these options available for a bullet. Checklists, you have two available options. You can have the checklist where it strikes through or the checklist where it just puts a check. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is the strike through method. If I click it, it strikes through the word completely. But let's say I don't want it to look like that. I just want to use the check. I'm going to change it to this option here, and now it just has the check by it. When you are using your numbers list, you're going to notice that it says when you hover over it, It's got numbers and letters, but when you push enter, the next number appears. If you want to make the letter appear, all you have to do is push tab. So I just got to go back to, choosing that option. So I'm going to push tab, and now I've got letters. So when I push space, I've got my number 2, tab, I've got letters. So I could write cat, and then B, dog, and I can continue going like that. If I wanted to go back to numbers, all I have to do is push enter twice, and I'm back to my numbers again. We talked about bullets, we talked about checklists, and we talked about numbers. The next thing I want to talk about is how to align your text. So you're going to select all of your text, and you're going to go over here to your align area, align and indent. You can choose to left align, which is how text is typically written. You can choose to center align, where it's right in the middle of your page. You can choose to right align, where it's going to be all the way over to the other side of the page. Or you can choose to justify, where each line has a different spacing and it's justified throughout. In addition, you could change how close or far apart your words are. Right now I've got 1.15 spacing, but I can double space to make it even more of a spaced out version, or if I want it smaller, I can single space. Okay, so we covered how to add text, how to enhance our text, and how to organize our text. Now it's your turn. On the next slide, you'll see some Thompson tips, and on the slide after that, I have a checklist of things I'd love for you to try out. And you'll be well on your way to becoming a Google Master. See you next time.